Hey, everybody, and welcome once again to the Appalachian Brewing Company podcast. Mike Parker and Artie Tafoya coming to you here early in the month of December. Getting ready, our bellies were full from Thanksgiving, and now we're getting ready with Christmas cheer, right, Artie? Nothing to do. It's just such an unbusy, unhappening month, right? Is that right?
It really is, Mike. You know, you get started here after Thanksgiving, everybody's so full, and they're like, I don't think I can eat for another couple weeks here. But, yeah, we're getting people back in the doors, and people are getting in the Christmas spirit, and it's great to see. You know, the roads are busy. You know, people are out doing it, right?
I'm joking because I know how busy you are and how busy I am just with work and family obligations and stuff like that. So to find time to have a beer with you is like a little slice of heaven, my friend.
That's right. We're always good. It's always good.
And here we go, because,
Ooh, that sounded good.
It did sound good. You pre-cracked the
Mike,
can.
I had to have one right before.
You looked like it.
Yeah, I looked like I did.
You had that look in your eyes.
Yeah, no doubt. I haven't slept in a while, eyes.
You had that out of focus look?
No. Oh, man.
Out of focus double IPA. That's what I have. So good. Out of the can. Love that beer. Delicious. 8%. So I'm going to, I did eat prior to having this beer, so this is fine. But that's definitely a party starter right there, my friend.
Yeah, it is. That'll get the party rolling. That's for sure.
And what do you have?
I've got a Sigma Oasis. This is our India Pale Ale. They call them hazies. We don't really refer to them so much as that anymore. They're just IPAs now. And, it's sort of now IPAs has become such a broad category. You got the double, like the Outta Focus you're drinking. That's still sort of a style, but they've sort of melded all the IPAs together, and they just call them IPAs now. Nothing's like a special IPA anymore.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. Well, cheers.
Well, cheers to you.
All right. That didn't make much of a noise. It's like
apparently there's no glassware available today.
two full cans clanking together away from the microphone. It didn't really make much of a noise, but
that's right.
No, it's funny. I enjoy IPAs are actually, in honesty, not always my favorite style. It's not what I always go for, but for some reason recently, I recently came into a new vehicle, new to me, had an opportunity to finally get, I used to have trucks, probably remember, I used to have trucks like when I was younger, and then I got away from that. We ended up getting a van, like a minivan, and I got rid of a truck, which was a piece of crap anyway. And then I've had the van forever, and the van's getting older, but it's like my truck. It's, because, yes.
They can operate like a truck.
Yeah,
you take out the seats, and
the seats fold right into it, and you can put full sheets of drywall in there, 4x8, like shut the door. Like it's like having a
indoor truck.
Yeah, it's like having a cap on a truck, except it's anyway. So I've always treated it like that, but my son in particular, it's like, I'm not trying to keep up with the Joneses, but my son would constantly point out to me, and we do have other cars, but besides the van, but he would say, all my friends' dads have trucks, and he's like
he's just dropping subtle hits.
And that van over there, he's like, he's like, I'm not trying to say I care or anything. No, one point was, I don't go out and make large purchases to appease my son, like to care what I look like or anything like that driving around. But I did have an opportunity to get a truck, which are very expensive, by the way, these days. So I got a good deal on one, and it came with satellite radio. Now I don't know if it's the guy who traded it in had satellite and was paying for it.
Still on it,
yeah. And maybe I'll have it for a while, or it's just the trial. But I was listening to a show the other day, and they just happened to be talking about beer and mentioned IPA, and just that discussion of someone talking about IPAs and then kind of describing it to the person who didn't know what an IPA exactly was made me go home and have it.
Made you thirsty for an IPA.
Yes. Huh? And so I'm just carrying that.
Well, let's carry that forward and make a lot of people thirsty for IPAs.
Yeah, but I mean, it does. I mean, we do this podcast, on occasion. We talk about beer. We talk about other stuff, but I think describing occasionally taking it down to that level, I mean, is sort of interesting. So when you have an IPA, it really is that just means Because so I have a friend who's not such a beer connoisseur, but I see him once or twice a year, and he'll come over the house and he'll say, what do you got? And he goes, no, I don't want to, and I'll tell him like I have like, some like a wheat beer or something, right? And he won't know. He'll just say, I just don't want any of that IPA crap. Like he's more he's just more of like a, like a Coors Light guy or something, and it's okay. But I'm like, well, they're not all IPAs. But what do you, so how do you approach that? Do you talk to people? Do you even get down to edge? I think people appreciate hearing about like ingredients, basic ingredients.
I think you can talk to them to a certain extent, some people to a certain extent about what a beer is, right?
Yeah.
I try to explain to some of my friends, give it a shot. You don't know, oh, I don't drink those IPAs, that type of thing. And I'm like, just give it a shot. There are 17 different IPAs. Actually, even this Sigma Oasis, it's not bitter. It's hoppy in aroma and flavor, but it's not overly bitter on the back of your palate. And someone like, oh, I get bitterness, or they make my my tongue cringe up or whatever.
Right.
And I talk to them about it a lot. I sort of come to the point where when somebody pushes back initially, I'm not going to try to explain to them and
change their mind.
You should really try this, because I don't want them to try something they don't like, because I also don't want to turn them off to craft beer.
Mm-hmm.
So they might try an IPA and go, ooh, I hate all craft beer, right?
Yeah.
Instead, maybe find out what they do like, and then sort of, someone tells me, I drink Yuengling Lager a lot. That's my go-to, but I really don't like craft beer. And I go, okay, well, have you tried our Jolly Scott? It's not a lager, but it's an ale, and it's, no offense to Yuengling, it's a fantastic ale that has been made for not nearly as long as the Yuengling has been made, but it's still fantastic, and it comes out every time the same, every batch the same. It's just that beer that it's sort of bulletproof, but that could be the one where they'd go, wow, I really like that.
Mm-hmm.
They may go, well, it doesn't come in a 30-pack for $22. So,
right.
So I may not buy it, but maybe that's the beer they buy as a special treat to themselves.
Mm-hmm. No, okay. So I agree with that. So I always, people don't even like think about it. They've just been drinking beer because that's what that's what their dad had in the garage or whatever. And like, that's what they had. They had beer. And it's funny because we're talking about this in 2025. And a company like yours that's been around for 28 years or whatever, like, you've been talking to people about this kind of thing for 28 years now. It's not like people will come in even to this day and they'll say, don't you have something like, on the, what's the closest you got to, like you said, Yuengling Lager or something, and you'll give them, if your server knows what they're talking about, they'll give them an option. The bartender.
We train that in our training. Train them to ask instead of trying to push a beer. Like, one thing they will ask is, "What's your favorite?" They'll ask the server that.
Yeah.
So I always tell the servers, you got to have a favorite. If you don't like beer, you don't drink beer, you don't, you're a wine drinker, you still need to have a favorite beer, and you need to know why it's your favorite, right? Mm-hmm. So if someone says, "Hey, what's your favorite?" as a server. Oh, I love the Mountain Lager. It's a perfect one because it's so it's a nondescript beer. It's a great style, the Dortmund style, but it's that type of situation where you can suggest it, and most 90% of the people are going to go, "Wow, that was really good."
Yeah.
Right? The other 10% are going to go, it's not Miller Lite, so it's not great.
Right. And it's also like you have to kind of adjust your. Sometimes, see, it's for me. It's not really been for you. It's not ever been like that. Like if I'm at a birthday party or something, and I wasn't really expecting to, like, throw them down for the day or whatever, and someone offers me a canned, mass-produced beer, like, I'm not gonna be like, no, like, you know what I mean? Like that's the other misconception is that people who like, drink craft beer or like, turn their nose up at other beers. You don't think you appreciate some other beer company, that American beer company that's been around for over 100 years or something. Of course you appreciate that brewery and everything and what they produce. But I mean, you just have a preference. I like flavor, and the flavor of, an Appalachian beer is going to be better than most of those, like you said, the 30-pack for $22 is usually not as, it's just,
it's mass-produced beer.
Yeah.
I mean, it's ours are batch brewed. Theirs are mass-produced. I mean, they still have batches, but they blend batches and they do other things to keep the product consistent. I think that's. Hey, you want you want your Miller Lite to taste the same no matter what, right? And I don't look down upon them for that. I just think we put sweat, tears, and hopefully not tears, but blood, sweat.
All of those things are going into the beer, so that's what makes it
no
different.
Blood, no tears, and there's a lot of sweat on the outside of the beer.
Yeah, no, I think
especially in the summer.
Yeah, no, that's fun. It's good though. But I just like to say, when it comes to like an IPA, you will run into people around like the holidays that maybe you haven't seen before, and if you have something around and you're feeling a little adventurous at a party, that's cool too. Is especially with these like 16-ounce cans, that's enough to pour like a couple. Hey, here, take a sip of this. You're like, try this. You're not going to take my whole beer, and that buy something for someone, and like if they're into it, they will surprise themselves, and maybe they don't buy it every time they buy beer, but they're not as apprehensive. I don't find it as much anymore because we're talking about an industry that's been around, in your case, even for almost 30 years. So there's people are accustomed to it, but I'm sure you heard that in the late 90s, early 2000s, people come in all the time.
Sort of, I back in the day, I used to equate it to ethnic foods, right? I mean, if you're a craft beer versus a mass produced beer, it's like McDonald's versus a Thai food, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't like that Thai food. It's too yummy. I don't know. What do you say?
Right.
What do you say about Thai food?
It's because it's not something they grew up with, or
and it's just a matter of. I have some friends who we turned on to Thai food back 10 years ago, and now they're like, "Hey, you guys want to go get Thai food?" And we're like, "Yeah, but you just sort of have to adjust your palate to that flavor." But once you do, it's certainly gratifying.
Yeah. And I don't think it's that as extreme either with beer so much. I think it can be for people who, have their habits and they just have been drinking, and maybe brand loyalty. I mean, that's important. That's what you strive for.
Yeah. The thing I love about Pennsylvanians as a whole is they're very brand loyal. Once they jump on board, you can't get them to switch. Now that could be bad if they're a mass-produced beer drinker, but you just got to give them an opportunity to try the product and see that it's consistent, see that it's every time they have it, it's the same, and it's got a good, wonderful flavor to it. So I think all in all, we can educate as much as possible, but truly we just got to continue doing that and getting the actual product onto the tongue.
Right.
That's the toughest thing.
Agreed. And sometimes it's just baby steps, and share a beer with somebody. It's all, that's pretty much the message here. Try to help someone along, introduce them to something. Don't be afraid. It's something new isn't, it may not go past that one party where they tried it, or it could become, hey, I'm going to buy this again because I really liked that experience. And if it wasn't for you, and then you'll remember it. And that's what the holiday season oftentimes is often about, is just making memories, little tokens of, it's not always material things. It's a moment. It's a party. It's a conversation you had with somebody,
Mike, one thing you think about is I have a lot of people coming to me and they're saying, hey, you need to make a non-alcoholic beer. One of my best friends, he's like, I'm not drinking as much. So, I'm, had a couple health things and whatever. And I'm like, okay, well, it's okay, and he's like, can you make any non-alcoholic beer? And I'm like, it's really hard to make alcoholic beer. It's even harder to make non-alcoholic beer. It's sort of funny, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just the process of it and everything is much more intricate than actually making beer. Making beer is relatively simple. I mean, you talk about home brewers and everything else, right? But
making it good isn't simple.
Well, that's true. Making it good and making it consistent and making it on a big scale is not as easy. That's for sure. But I always tell them, hey, have a root beer. I mean, what's the difference? Well, I don't really drink soda, And I'm like, well, I get it, but you're drinking beer, you're drinking soda. Drink something that tastes good, that you enjoy, And he said, well, I like beer, but I don't want to have alcohol. And I'm, well, yeah, it's a tough scenario because I know that those non-alcoholic beers are pretty popular amongst people who like beer but don't want alcohol. I get it, right? I'm not saying that's me,
right? Yeah, I have a cousin who drinks non-alcoholic beers, and they're all sorts of flavors too. It's not like the near beer or whatever that you used to find.
IPAs, yeah.
Yeah, there's different
stuff. Has an IPA.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a non-alcoholic.
So they're incorporating non-alcoholic beers into different like craft styles now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, it's not something I'm really interested in. I never met a beer that I didn't want to at least feel a little something from.
Do, Mike?
What?
I should just make one, and that'll kill the whole brand. Yeah. That'll kill the whole idea.
We'll feel like
as soon as I jump on board, it's over.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, let me spend a lot of money on it first, and then jump on board, and then it'll be over.
We'll be more optimistic. I'm sure that if you did something, it would be good. It's hard
to be good. And the next thing they'd be on to alcoholic beer.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, it is a Christmas time coming up here. Hard to believe, but I was just thinking, it's just a scroll of when you look around for like beer-related gifts this year. I don't know. There's a couple of things that I found funny. I just did a search for like beer drinking and gifts. Obviously, you guys have stores here at the brew pub. I want to let people know that like gift cards, your brewware and things like that are always available locally here. So, But what kind of things you guys have around here before I get into some of these trinket type deals that I want to share with them?
Well, we do have gift cards. We have brewware. We have our spirit stores in a couple of our locations. We have it in Mechanicsburg and Gettysburg, where you can go in and buy a bottle of our everything from our vodka to our bourbon, and our flavored vodkas and other things. So those are things that we can offer up. Of course, glassware is always available,
right? And
those types of things. Let's hear some of what you've got going on.
Well, this is funny because that's what I would think. Here's the deal: as someone who has a home bar, who likes to drink, even if I didn't, even when I was going to go to my parents' house and I take a couple beers along, I always reach into their cabinet to find a pint glass of some sort. So pint glasses are extremely popular. So you want a customizable pint glass. If you're not going to buy one that's from your favorite brewery, like an Appalachian Brewing Company, you can customize it. So,
oh wow.
Well, now you can customize them on like, if you're on like Amazon, you can go on there and you can get your
says Mike.
Yeah. You can find like your name or something on it.
Buddy.
Yeah, great guy. Bought this, made in China.
Yeah, I was stupid.
My favorite podcaster bought me this pint glass. Yeah, that's what I'm getting. Sports teams are extremely popular. So if you're like an Eagles fan or a Penn State fan,
or a Broncos fan. I hate to bring that up, but
yes. But that's a good gift, like a pint glass with an NFL or an MLB logo on it or college football. That's good. I found this funny because I haven't seen one of these since college, but a beer bong funnel.
Wow.
Yeah. With the valve.
You think we should go that direction now, Mike, or you think we might be past that?
Well, I just think it's still a fun idea. I think if you broke one out in the right conditions, it might be kind of fun.
When you're not driving home?
Right. Yes, this would have to be a home game for sure.
The worst thing is, Mike, the older I get, the more hungover I am, like on 4 beers instead of like what we used to do. I mean, what fits in a funnel? I don't know.
I don't know. Well,
2 funnels? I think that's probably more than I drink it all now.
I remember being at a party in college, and it would be like, all right, where the funnel's moving around. You could just see it. It would be moving around the crowd. And then, you'd all of a sudden, there'd be a circle of people around you and be like, or the thing is, if you were watching, the guy who was getting, you'd think it was just the beer that was in the funnel, and then you'd have your thumb over the hole, and you'd bend it or whatever, and then when it was ready to go, then you'd release it.
Yeah.
Well, the guy who's drinking from the funnel is never paying attention, and other people are pouring other things into the funnel as they're going.
Yeah, because you're cross-eyed looking at the hose.
So you think, they just poured 2 beers in that thing, and no, and there's like a shot in there. There's probably 2 more beers. And it all goes down so
These
quick,
are things
too.
we talk about that we remember back in the day that nowadays you just can't get away with.
Not a bad
thing.
Not a bad gift. Probably a lot of returns on that gift if you're giving it to someone our age. But
that's right.
That's good. I like these beer glasses that are shaped like the can. That kind of taste.
You like those? Yeah.
Well, I mean,
when I drink at home, I drink out of some of those.
I've seen that before.
I've got some cool ones, like from the 717 collab beers we've done.
Yeah.
We did some glassware for PA. What is it? PA Beer Week or something, or local beer. Harrisburg Beer Week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Harrisburg Beer Week.
We used to have some glasses for that. I have some of my favorite glasses are those can glasses.
Yeah.
And then I love drinking out of any Pilsner glass.
Right.
I just love the way the top's open and it comes. You get the nice aroma.
I prefer that too when I'm drinking out of my keg at home.
Yeah.
Because it makes me it's a smaller serving typically in one of those smaller Pilsner glasses. I'm not talking about one of the big tall ones. So the ones that I have, I think, are probably like a 12-ounce glass. So as opposed to like a bigger mug, drinking out of something small, I get to go back to the keg more often. You know what I mean? Which is fun, tapping yourself a fresh one.
Well, do you remember going, I don't know if you remember going to with your dad to the bar, but I certainly do. And this was back when I was back in the, I don't want to say how old I am.
It was recent history.
But used to go with your dad, and they would pour at either Knights of Columbus or at Murphy's Tavern right down the road. Would pour little tiny glasses of beer.
Really?
Yeah, and they were. Yeah. I think they were like 10 cents back then. I mean, you know what I mean? It's like 10-cent beers.
That would be okay, right? Yeah. Because, you've got the whole range, and I guess depending on what you're, like on what you're interested in, like a smaller, just like, I've seen it all. So I've seen the big fish bowls, which I know that you guys have occasionally had here before, but that's not you don't normally have fish bowls.
No, we had the brown ale, and remember?
The
Trailblaze brown.
Right. That was, and then I've seen like just like a pint glass. Then I've seen like maybe if you're the mugs from the Mug Club would be like slightly bigger. That would be a bigger pour. And then you have like smaller glasses all the way down to so the different size glass. It's just it does kind of add to the experience. So a variety of glassware, I think, is good.
We get a lot of people who ask for, a 12-ounce glass of beer as opposed to drinking a pint now. Yeah. Because they can, let's say you have 2 pints or you have 3 different 12-ounce, Same amount of beer, but you get three different tries,
Makes sense.
Yeah.
These are good. These are socks that one sock. So I imagine, one on the bottom, one says, if you can read this, the other one says, bring me a beer. So I imagine that's for you to put your feet up on like the recliner or the ottoman.
The bottom of them?
Yeah, okay. Yeah. That's not bad.
That's not, I have a beer bell. I ring and.
Oh, a bell? Yeah. Like the cowbell?
I tell my wife, when I ring the bell, bring me a beer, right? Yeah. It thinks it's broken because I keep ringing it.
It's been ringing so much.
It rings so much that I had to get up and go get my own beer.
Yeah, it's funny. Well, the accessories for like beer, the beer drinker in your life are pretty much like unlimited here. But the other one I don't know. I'm not sure if this is for the adult crowd or if this is a slip-on cover that goes over a can of beer, but instead it hides it to make it look like a soda. Yes. So if I want to take like an Outta Focus double IPA into and
then just wrap a beer label around it
into like my granddaughter's. I don't have a granddaughter, but I'm just saying like dance recital. I want everyone to think I'm drinking Diet Coke.
So when we first started the bottling soda back in the day, we did it on the same equipment as our brewing bottling, right? And I used to wake up in the mornings in like a hot sweat that some kid got a beer with a root beer label on it. So, and I'm like, we got to separate these. And when we opened the Mechanicsburg plant, this plant only does soda. The Harrisburg only does beer. And, there's no chance of that happening. So, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't think I want to do a branded ABC root beer to hide your beer cover.
Oh, that's funny. Those are good. Like I said, you can do just about anything. But also like, do you remember the? Well, beer pong is popular too. We've talked about that. So there's like a beer pong set. So I always find playing beer pong is actually a fun way to like enjoy beer at a party.
When they play beer pong now, when we played it back in the day,
yeah,
you used to throw the ball would roll off, hit the floor. Everybody pick it up.
Right.
Some people would stick it in their mouth, wipe it off, and put it back
right.
in, and we'd still drink the
right.
Right. Nowadays they do it and they have water there. And they rinse it, right?
Yeah.
And then you don't drink you drink your own glass.
Well,
which is so much more sanitary.
Yeah,
right,
I
than
think
what we used to do.
Mostly we used to actually fill the cups with beer.
Yeah.
And then the ball would roll off the table. You'd be in a yard or in a basement or just on a dirty carpet somewhere. And and then the ball would hit and you'd still drink and you'd get an inch of beer out of each six cups. Yeah, they don't play that way anymore, at least not where I'm at. It's no longer, I guess it's become more sophisticated.
Yes. Well, they're smarter than we were.
Yeah.
But we didn't care, right?
No.
We were like, and now you know why our immunity is so good.
That's true.
We were all licking the same, pong balls.
Look at the same. Yeah, I know.
Well, let's change the subject.
No, but actually, it's become kind of like mainstream to the fact that like they don't even like call it beer pong. Like there are probably little kids around right now that just know the game of pong, like because they don't think it. I know pong used to be a video game. Even before me, like before I had video games like Pong and all that. But I don't remember that coming out or anything. But Pong, you can like go to the stores now and they'll sell, instead of like a red Solo cup that will just like crack after a while and you have to get new cups or whatever. They make like firm,
indestructible.
Exactly, the indestructible. So you and then if you go to the dollar store, like the everything's a dollar store, they're like ping pong balls are there all the time too. Like you can buy them there. It's like it used to be hard to find ping pong balls.
Ping pong balls hanging next to the Solo cups.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because it's so mainstream now. Back in the day, if you had ping pong balls, like it was a trip to at least a trip to Walmart.
To go to the
sporting
goods store.
Exactly. And if one of those got crushed or something, we would hold a lighter to it to try to make the ball, because you could make it pop back out a little bit, and if you were down, man, like you had to protect those things like crazy, because if they got dented or stomped on or whatever. So yeah. Anyway, we never worried about them getting dirty, though, did we?
No, we didn't. That was not an issue for us, at least.
Yes. So last time we talked, we're actually I know it's been hard to get together for a podcast, but the last time we talked, believe it or not, I listened back to the podcast a week after we recorded it. Maybe it was 2 weeks, and I have seen nothing age more poorly than our last podcast. It was immediately the most aged podcast I've ever heard. Yeah. It was like we were talking about Penn State going 12-0.
It was a loss to Oregon that just put it in the dumpster, didn't it?
We were talking about we could
have won that game too. We should have won that game. Do you think that would have changed the whole season if we'd have won that game instead of lost?
I've had this discussion with so many Penn State fans, and we won't. I know everyone that listening is not a Penn State fan, but here's the thing. This is probably, even aside from in college football, the coaching search for Penn State right now is probably like the number one story that's going on, because it's become kind of a debacle, I guess. But anyway, had they beat Oregon, the momentum then would have just carried over and everyone would have said Penn State's good, and they probably would have believed they're good. And after they lost to them, it just took the wind out of the sails. It did. It kind of, we're like, okay.
We're like, okay, well, there goes our season, so let's just not even.
Yeah, it wasn't.
I know, it was weird.
I don't want
to say they didn't try, because they certainly went out and played their hearts out like the kids always do. But I don't know, Mike. I sort of feel like, do we really need a coach? Can you imagine how much money we could save every year if we didn't have a coach?
I just don't understand college football anymore from this perspective of these guys. I just saw, so aside from the Penn State coach, maybe don't fact check me too hard on this one, but I read part of an article yesterday that talked about Deion Sanders. Okay, everybody's familiar with him in Colorado. Sure. He had this, went from like a nothing team to like now everyone's talking about Colorado because they've got, and they got this big star coach and his son and Travis Hunter, the other player, and they're stars and they're winning games and like this is the hot program. So they are like, because they're crappy now, like they went from being good for a couple of years and relevant.
No, only one. Well, I think it was only. Yeah. Well, maybe it was 2 years, but it was really only 1 or 2 years. Right. He brought his 2 sons and this other Travis Hunter, who was the Heisman winner.
Right.
And they changed the whole program. But that's that shows you that there's just a couple really good guys can really do it.
But what the point of the article was, Deion and hey, he's making $10 million a season or something. The players, I know this. That's the thing. It's different now. The players that they have on the roster right now are making over $20 million, like combined. So it's, a few million here, a few million there for each player. I get that.
Well, only the stars.
Or only the stars.
Or the ones that have good agents.
Yeah. Right? But then, like, the ticket sales are so bad. The losses started piling up, and like the buzz is over now. So like they invested a bunch of money into the program, and like they're like in the hole, like they're like $100 million or something like in the hole, and I'm sure they can make that up somehow in the
just raise tuition.
Yeah, just for right. I'm going to send my kid to college for an early childhood education degree. So now I got to pay for the football team too. Yeah. But
$500,000 for
this business of football is what I don't understand, and these people that I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. I just hope I don't want Penn State to be a laughing stock again. We've had bad news surround Penn State before, and they bounced back so beautifully. I was not a fan of them getting rid of James Franklin, although I could easily be convinced either way. I just personally, if I had a vote, I would have said keep him. But I mean, I'm not right. It's just my opinion.
It was time.
I guess so.
It was probably. I mean, you hate taking somebody from the semis of the last year and then judging them this year on that. But he never really could win. He couldn't win the big game. And that was the toughest part. And you got to beat Ohio State. You got to find a way.
At some
point.
And
he was very. I mean, the one thing that I had a problem with him mostly. And this is me. I'm not a big football fan, but I know enough about football to be dangerous. But I feel like he had a drop back quarterback, but he kept running him in an RPO system, like a running quarterback system.
Yeah.
And he did that and was fine with McSorley, right? McSorley could run, but Clifford couldn't run really. I'm sure he's faster than me, but I don't think he's much faster than me.
Yeah, I mean, it's frustrating because you see like when they played UCLA. So when you talked about Oregon, that was like, that was a major disappointment. But then UCLA was like what happened here?
Well, and they were coming off a 3 or 4 game losing streak, but they were due to. So we just hit them at the wrong time.
No,
their quarterback played a great game. I mean, I sat there and watched that game.
But our guys were just what'd they do? I don't understand. Like something was wrong on that trip, and there was really no coming back from that because that was like embarrassing. It was like a record. That was some sort of record, like a number 2 or 3 team or whatever they were at the time, because they were still Oregon was like 3 and Penn State was 2, so they really just swapped places by losing. But when they lost to that unranked team, that was like the first time in 40 years that it happened or something. And it was like, see, bad side of history again.
Well, that's and I think that was sort of the last straw for the guys. That's the last straw. And granted, now he's going to Virginia Tech. I liked him. I didn't dislike Franklin. I met him a couple times. He's a great guy. Mm-hmm. He's very charismatic. He was a great leader. I think he was a great recruiter as well. And we're seeing he's taken some of our high
people
recruits.
Obviously wanted to play for him, and they figure I'm going to play at a big school one way or the other. I'll just go to this place.
Right, but he didn't create linebacker U.
No,
right?
No,
he didn't create the what Penn State is. And so he's another chapter in the book. I see it as, and I think we have a lot of bright chapters in the future. I'm excited.
So. Yeah. Well, cool. Well, we got that off of our chest because I just remember listening to that podcast, thinking to myself, if we had only known, we almost should have came back the next day and re-recorded, because I was like, this is almost like too bad.
Is our crystal ball broken?
No, if anyone's listening to this, they realize that we recorded this like last week, or because it was bad. Like we were talking, we were really talking.
So
we were talking.
Oh man, they were going to be so good.
We were talking them up. Anyway, it came crashing down.
You know what? That can happen for any team, and my Broncos are playing pretty good right now. We're 9 straight or something like that. Hey, we'll take it.
I don't know. I don't want to even. The Eagles are there. I still think the Eagles are going to get their stuff together.
They're tough. They're tough in the playoffs. So
I just don't understand. I hate the fact that they lost to the Cowboys and gave up a 21-point lead, and it's like, and the other losses, they're still like, it's going to happen. But enough football talk. It's depressing for me.
Yeah,
it really is.
Let's talk about beer again. And the other thing, Mike, is I don't know if when you walk through the restaurant to come back, we're in the conference room now, but if you walk through the restaurant, didn't our guys do such a fantastic job at decorating?
I could see it in the parking lot on my way in.
Yeah, you can see it from the street.
It's a lot of little LEDs up in the ceiling that are making an awesome atmosphere out there.
I tell you walk in, it looks like you're in a snow globe.
It does. I feel like I was in a snow globe.
A human brew pub snow globe.
That's funny. So, what is in this glass, Artie? There's another. You brought another little sample out here.
A little sample for you, Mike. I thought you might enjoy this. And every once in a while, I pull samples from our production just to check everything. And go through stuff. But I hadn't had one of our reposados in a long time, and we're heading into Christmas. This is a great time to buy a friend a bottle of spirits, but. This reposado is our agave. It is it's an 80 proof, and it's barrel aged for about we'd go about 7-8 months on this, and God, it just has such a nice round flavor to it, and so crisp and clean that I thought I'd share it with you today. I was really proud of how this turned out. So
all right, here we
go. What's amazing is. People don't realize a lot that from the barrel you get the vanilla, a little bit of vanilla, and that's the thing that along with that agave, which tequila, it gives you that little bit of a roundness to it, a little more sweetness to it too as well.
It's really good. It's the smoothness is what's getting me. It's I don't know how people drink tequila other than. So much. I'm not so. There's a lot of tequilas out there. If you pay attention to the market of what's going on, if you're going for tequila, there's a couple of reasons why you're going to buy tequila, right? Or agave. You're going to either mix it with some almost super sour, off the store mix, and make some sort of like a summer margarita. Like a lot of people make like the slushies. Type things out of them, or or like ice in a blender, or there is this now. This is like the it might be mixed in another beverage. Like there's tequila based, cans and cocktails in a can.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
And then there's just maybe like a sipper. I mean, is that?
Well, I mean, I think you can have it either way. You mix it with soda water, and this was soda water. And it's wonderful. It's just a nice light.
Proof it a little bit. Or you're saying kind of
not necessarily. It's actually bourbon and soda or reposado and soda. I drink both that way.
Okay.
And it's a nice bit of bourbon. And then you just add cold soda water.
So just
and maybe some lime. Yep.
Okay. So just so by adding just a little bit of carbonated water is what you're saying.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Not a flavor like a seltzer, like a canned seltzer. So I'm trying to think of like what people might have.
Seltzer, but I've used lime seltzer.
Yeah, like a lime.
Sort of
okay.
Same thing.
So that'd be good, right?
That's really good and refreshing. Now we're getting into the winter, so this is actually good.
Yeah.
What's amazing about this when you taste it is the smoothness. You take a sip of tequila.
Yeah.
Cuervo, let's just say.
Right.
And you go, oh, Whew, man.
Right.
Take a sip of this, and it's warming, it's smooth, and it's not that.
Yeah. I mean, you're not breathing fire like like on your on the aftertaste either. It's on the exhale, I should say. Yeah. It's good.
Do you get the vanilla on the end?
I do. I'm getting that. So just explain that. So what kind of barrels are you using for that?
I mean, this is just an oak barrel, but that oak barrel tends to offer in vanillins, which give that from its. So what happens is the barrel sucks the liquid in, spits it out, sucks it in, spits it out. That's what gives you the color.
Yeah.
And also gives you that sort of vanilla type flavor to
Got it. And that's what happens with barrels. It's humidity has an issue, right? So, or like temperature, like is that what makes the?
Yeah, you want your barrels in an area, and our storage room is perfect because it's on the sun side.
Yes.
So it gets a warm day, and a cool night. Warm day, cool night. So the barrels are always sort of breathing the spirit in and out.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Interesting.
It works well.
Think of that almost like letting a good steak rest after cooking it.
Yeah. Similar.
Yeah. Which, by the way,
tequila
and steak.
Tequila and steak. How about tequila and tacos?
I mean, I like anything.
Steak tacos. Okay, we'll go halfway.
Right, steak tacos. This is good. Oh man. Well, this is.
How was your Thanksgiving? Speaking of good food,
it was filling, and last time we were here, we talked a little bit about hunting, so I won't get too much into that, other than to say that my Thanksgiving typically involves us going to. You get to go to my parents' house, and it's about 40 minutes away from our house. We eat dinner there. My mom made a delicious turkey and a bunch of other sides, and then have a couple of drinks. Help her decorate her Christmas tree with the kids and stuff. Yeah, and then we had
think about that as a Thanksgiving tradition.
Yeah.
Usually you think I get through Thanksgiving,
right,
and now I'll go on to get
the Christmas tree.
Get the tree up, and I got all this work to do.
Yeah,
that's nice.
She puts up a tree because she knows that this is a chance how busy the kids are for them to both be together and come up, and that way we can all just like she puts a tree up. It's an artificial tree. It's a little easier than if you're going out there to get a regular tree and cutting one down. That's a process that can be, but to have it ready, she just puts that up. Blank slate. We go there. We hang a couple of ornaments, have a couple of laughs over some of the old stuff that we put on the tree, and then we head up to my wife's house, my wife's mom's house, another 40 minutes away or so, and then we basically do like a triangle, and it's just a lot of food, a lot of drinks and laughs, and then a lot of sleeping after that.
Yeah.
But then after that, it's people think of it as Black Friday for shopping now, but Black Friday has become the day that for a lot of guys, and obviously some women too, but I think the majority of the people that I talk to that are out hunting on opening day of deer season for rifle season, when you're driving up 322 to head up north, it's a lot of pickup trucks and a lot of dudes open for the big one, So we did a couple of days of hunting and stuff, and came back, and it's been a lot of fun.
How'd you do?
Did not do well during this rifle season.
I think you did pretty well.
Yeah,
archery. Right?
I shot a buck in archery season, and my son shot a doe already in this youth rifle season back in October. So I was sort of cherry on the Sunday for me if I got a doe or something up in the mountains. But I was hoping my son would get something, but we didn't see many deer. It's a vast area out there, and there wasn't many deer being pushed. And the one thing was, it was very windy. Very I will tell you, Artie, I will hunt in rain all day long. I mean, not that I enjoy that. I'd rather it be a little bit more cold is good, but windy is the worst wind because it just messes with your ears, and you think you hear something, and you want to focus in on that, and you have this thought. It's the anticipation. Yeah, something's coming my way, right? And then it's just the wind, and then it dies down for a minute. Then you hear it again, and you're like,
I can see that.
And over and over and over again.
I will tell you, I do not want to hunt or golf in rain or wind.
Yeah.
So that's where so I don't basically golf or. No,
I know you. I don't think a lot of people do either, because I think weather. I mean, weather will keep a lot of people inside from those type of activities, which means if you like the woods are always open. But it's a limited time, and I mean, I got to go up at some point. But like, it does affect how the deer are moving too. I guess if there's not as many guys out in the woods because it's either it's raining or windy and they don't want to go out and they just don't feel good about it, and then the chances of you seeing something aren't as good. So, because it's what it is. It's about disrupting their habitat and then making them move around in unnatural ways so that you get a shot, or you just happen to know where one's going to be and you kind of hang out there.
Did you hunt around your house, or did you go up to
No, up at the cabin.
Good for you.
Bald Eagle State Forest up in Center County.
What a beautiful area.
It is gorgeous up there. So anyway, yourself, it was good?
Yeah, good. We went up to Rhode Island again. We do that every other year now to go up to Carrie's mom's. And there's nothing like a New England pilgrim-style Thanksgiving.
Nice.
But we also go out and visit all her friends from high school and people that have stuck around the hometown.
Cool.
And it's always great to see them. What else? We went down to Newport, which we hadn't really done that in a while. The Mansion Walk. You heard of that?
No, Newport. I'm sorry,
Newport, Rhode Island.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
gotcha.
Newport, Rhode Island. Yeah. So we went down there and we did some walking around, probably put on a couple miles down there, just looking at these big, huge, beautiful houses, the Vanderbilts, and
nice.
some of those. But but other than that, it was just nice time together. It's starting to get colder, and we had some snow here locally, and all I can say is it's a good time for beer and bourbon.
Sure
and
is.
That's sort of the mode I'm in right now. But I also just want to take time to thank Thanksgiving and thank all of our customers. Anybody who listens to the podcast who's a customer that comes in here regularly or seldom, we still want to thank you for keeping us in business and keeping us moving in the right direction. And we hope that we are doing all the right things for you. And that turns into a thanks to our staff and our everybody who works for Appalachian Brewing Company. We really appreciate everything they do. They are the lifeblood of our company, and we're in the experience business. People come in here for an experience, and our servers and bartenders give that experience. And not only them, the staff in the kitchen. That food comes out and it looks fabulous on the plate. That's part of the experience of what we sell. So when you said earlier, sort of what do you sell? What do you do, right? What do we have available? Well, the one thing for Christmas that we sell that's I think is the best is the experience of coming into a place where you can feel welcome, you can have some quality food, you can enjoy talking to your friends, and you can leave knowing that I got a good value. And I think that's what I always wanted Appalachian Brewing Company to be, and I believe that we are pretty damn good at doing that all the time. And, that I thank not only our management team, our ownership team, our server team, everybody down the line that allow us to do that every day.
Awesome. Yeah, that's great. And I think what you just said, the sooner in life you realize that the things that are the most important that you'll remember are times with people that you enjoy, meeting new people, those experiences. When we're little kids, we want all the things made out of plastic and video games and fun things to play with and tell our friends that we got. And what did you get on, when we go back to school after break and, Santa's coming down the chimney with, that one big thing on your wish list. But when you're getting to the point where you feel like you almost have everything, what else is there to get someone? Time with someone in a great place, like an Appalachian Brewing Company, brewpub is like, that's going to be the thing. That's what I want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's an hour or two with some drinks and conversation and some laughs. That's what we all want. So that's what I wish you, Artie, this holiday
you too,
season.
Mike.
So.
I'm thankful for you, brother. You've been a good friend, and we've been doing this podcast. I think we're almost 50 episodes.
We're getting to
right?
50.
And that's exciting. We thought, hey, well, let's try it and see if we can get a couple in. But other than the fact that we get to give a lot of people a lot of information about our company and tell us about what we do, we also get together, you and
that's
I,
right.
and that's a friendship I'll always value.
All right, Artie, thank you so much. Yep. I value it as well. Merry Christmas to you and yours if you're listening to this. I don't know that we'll be getting another podcast in before that. I mean, there's always a good chance. We could.
Christmas
I mean,
Day.
Listen, if Penn State, somehow, if every other football team on the face of the earth decides to forfeit their bowl game and Penn State moves on to the national championship somehow at 6-6, this podcast will have
Wake
aged
up, Mike.
terribly again. All right, we can always dream. But anyway, Artie, for Artie Tafoya, it's Mike Parker. This has been the Appalachian Brewing Company podcast. As always, for all things Appalachian Brewing Company, visit abcbrew.com. So until next time, we wish you a Merry Christmas and cheers. Have a good one.